Oh. Hello.
Welcome everyone, we are the Grin brothers, and I've got tea, which I really want to actually drink, so I'm going to pass this over to Raphael to play for a bit. It also should hopefully mean that I can actually finally finish my rant, which I want to actually finish, because you're all here stuck listening to my rant.
A crab! And seagulls!
Is that seagull literally trying to kill you?
Yes.
Wow. You're
Don't.
killing innocent creatures who did nothing to you.
Yes.
That's befitting of Kay.
Because I want to collect these.
You mean these useless things that do nothing except for stuff?
I thought for a moment I was walking on water. Yes, I want to collect the useless things then.
But yeah, because we're back on the Final Fantasy VII complaint. My main complaint with this remake,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people's main complaint is that it's going to be episodic, which, while I think is a bit silly. Oh, there's a save point over there. While I do think it's a bit silly releasing it episodically, I'm not completely against it per se. I mean, one could, for instance, suggest that traditionally it was, in a sense, episodic in the old manner, because they released it on multiple part discs back in the day. Final Fantasy VII was split up between, was it only 3 or 4 discs? I know 9 was 4 discs, but...
So I believe I have to bomb something.
But, the episodic thing is not what's troubled me in any way.
Yeah.
What has is the lack of turn-based combat. And there's a lot of people who seem to be okay with Final Fantasy VII losing its turn-based combat, which I find really baffling. Some people have been saying that, it would have been pointless of a remake to just, give it a HD sort of upgrade, as it were.
Isn't that the idea of a remake?
But yeah, I thought that was the idea of a remake. I mean, imagine if with when they did the Halo 1 remake, they instead turned it into, I don't know, a visual novel. Because they figured that would be the best way of retelling the story.
I would, honestly, love to see what would happen if they did.
And it would fit into, Halo 4's bigger focus on Master Chief and Cortana's relationship, so...
Yeah. Little dating game.
Or if, when they made Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, they thought, let's go back to Miyamoto's original idea and make this a first-person's perspective game.
Yeah, FPS Legend of Zelda.
What if they did that? People would get annoyed about that. Because what people wanted was a perfected version of something they, an updated, perfected version of something they love. A lot of people wanted the Ocarina of Time sort of remake because they wanted, an improved water dungeon, for instance, of which it was in Ocarina of Time because you had such the quick access to the iron boots.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I was supposed to kill those crabs.
I've heard some people complain with Wind Waker HD that they were disappointed that it didn't have the 2 extra dungeons, which were removed from the game. The reason that apparently they weren't added in was because those 2 dungeons have actually been reused in other Zelda games. Yeah. It hasn't been mentioned which 2 Zelda games, what Zelda games got those 2 dungeons. I've heard people sometimes suggest it'd be Twilight Princess because it was the one which followed it up, and Twilight Princess apparently has more dungeons than any other Zelda game.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Wow. I don't know what I'm doing, by the way.
Yep. Well, you can always check the quest menu. But so I get rather perplexed at the sort of change, people being okay with this change. What I'd really want is to see the Final Fantasy VII gameplay be perfected in a sense. Admittedly, some people felt that the gameplay was perfectly fine. I personally would say that the best of the Final Fantasies is easily Final Fantasy IX, And there are certain problems with Final Fantasy VII's gameplay. As people point out, there's not that much individual characteristic to each of the characters during gameplay because of the materia system. Thinking of a way to establish more of that would be a better idea.
Yeah.
And turn-based gameplay has become better over time. Sometimes it's not as good, but there's ways it works.
Yeah.
And I just get really perplexed at how people are okay with it changing from being a non-turn-based game. Saying that it justifies it as a remake when all these other remakes happen and people would get annoyed if they changed up the gameplay. I mean, if the gameplay's flawed, I can understand. For instance, I felt Hyperdimension Neptunia, you are missing one of those each time.
What one?
There's one to the corner.
Corner of what?
The corner of... I'll tell you when you get closer to it.
Because it's kind of hard to tell, because one, the camera angle sucks.
And
two,
it always flashes each time you hit.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly help you hit them. It doesn't matter. Oh, no.
Oh no, there isn't one there.
No,
I thought there was one in that corner there.
No, it's a treasure chest.
Is that the treasure chest you need to hit over there? So run over to it quickly.
Where?
There, in the bushes.
No, it isn't.
Oh, then that thing's pointless then. It does nothing.
I'm pretty sure it's to get where we need to go.
No, it isn't. You got to follow the path.
Yeah, but what's all this for?
I don't know.
Because it's clearly for something.
I don't know.
I killed a bunch
of... The path is either up there...
I killed a bunch of crabs and then it all happened. So this is locked. And there's a frog in there.
Okay, frogs. Okay. And then there's a path up here.
Which according to the map leads like nowhere.
And for instance, with Hyperdimension Neptunia, it got a remake, which it changed up its gameplay. Admittedly, I haven't actually played its remake. It's apparently changed, from what I've seen though, it's changed up its gameplay into more of an Eternal Sonata style gameplay, which still makes it turn-based at that, because it's just a different style of turn-based gameplay. But I felt that works because Hyperdimension Neptunia I felt was flawed in its gameplay. There were things that needed fixing on it. Its gameplay, for some reason, its turn-based gameplay mechanic was extremely slow.
Yeah.
That I can understand, but there wasn't much of a problem with the basics of Final Fantasy VII's turn-based gameplay combat. But there were things that could have been refined and improved upon. So I'm not sure why they completely overhauled its style of combat. Or why people are okay with it, given that they, have a fit if it was with any other style of game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll ever make this into a tea time. Let me just actually have some tea for about it. Oh, whoops. Great. Spilt tea. Picked up way too quick.
Yeah, it's not a problem. A bunch of parts.
Yep.
Wow.
More bombs! The most wonderful of items. You're standing right next to it.
Irrelevant.
Oh, you can heal yourself though, because there's a save point right there making those hearts. Oh yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. Let's use that.
Okay.
Because clearly we need bombs if they're giving us this many bombs.
In theory. But they gave us bombs before and they never proved that helpful. It's just for secret stuff. There's a treasure chest in the middle.
I know.
You saved a frog.
There's one of your mates, and
you clear my way back, or do poor me got to mess with them ugly crabs?
What?
Before I go now, hey, best you do the same if you know what good for you.
What an ungrateful little frog.
Well, that was probably pointless.
But yeah, don't know if I'd make it into a tea time or not, but as I ended up pointing out to Raph at one point, I stopped playing the Tekken series because with Tekken 4 and due to missing out on Tekken 5, when it came round to Tekken 6, I no longer understood the story. Like, the gameplay was pretty much was perfectly fine except for that annoying boss at the end of the arcade mode, Crystal Dragon thing, which was, completely rubbish. But the gameplay was perfectly fine, but I couldn't understand the story of the characters. Meanwhile, if you took most of the turn-based, meanwhile, for instance, Paper Mario, I love Paper Mario 1 and The Thousand Year Door, but despite, say, Super Paper Mario having a fantastic story and looking beautiful, I didn't like it because of its gameplay. So, in an odd sense, I play fighting games because of their story, and play turn-based games because of their gameplay.
Yeah.
Which I think might be the opposite reason to why most people play those games. Well, most people don't think fighting games even have good stories. I personally love the method of storytelling, where it's, you know, you follow through each character's campaign, which is why I really like Sonic Adventure. And if I were to say what is my favourite story in a video game, it would actually be Sonic Adventure of all things.
Yeah.
That'd be actually a hilarious thing to sort of talk to someone about. What's your favourite story in a video game? And, you know, you got them to mention stuff like, I don't know, Shadows of Colossus or Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that. And I'm like, Sonic Adventure!
Yeah, it's definitely a
and it's one of those things I feel like...
choice.
How gameplay in of itself, you know, game design is a great, you know, has many methods to actually
tell a story. Did that crowd just survive a bomb?
The bombs are useless. And...
Wow.
You're going to die. Claws are probably the best thing against, you know, the Seagulls.
Yeah,
they've got no armor. And like I could, for instance, and like when it came to Fallout New Vegas, for instance, now I'm not a fan of Bethesda games. Their style of gameplay doesn't fit me.
Yeah.
The Fallout series in particular, because that's definitely more shooter focused than close combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the sort of cast of sort of companions you got in Fallout New Vegas. And I enjoyed sort of seeing the story play out as sort of... You may want to go to that save point first. As
I mean, I don't... It's
Raphael
probably...
here actually sort of played through it.
What? Played through what?
New Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
However, because I didn't like the gameplay, I thought to myself, I'd easily be able to enjoy playing this game if it was turn-based combat and you actually kept your party with you.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, again, a very different viewpoint to what just about everyone else has, wherein, you know, turn-based games are loved more for their story rather than their gameplay. But it's the gameplay that I personally feel really makes me attached to turn-based games. I mean, on the one hand, it's got strategy, but it's not bogged down by strategy like I feel like the SRPG genre is, wherein levels just take too long. You know, that's kind of my problem with Disgaea. It was just taking forever.
Yeah.
Despite how much I loved Disgaea for its story and characters, I couldn't get into the series because I couldn't get into its gameplay.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, though I wasn't very good at it and never got anywhere near as far as what you did, or what our oldest brother did.
Yeah. Oh,
come on!
I think that last one was stupid because I hit the right direction. It was like, nah, you didn't hit the right direction enough.
I think this is going to be the first time where you've gone through a level and you've achieved almost nothing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't care with this game.
Lovely camera angle, eh?
Freaking stupid game.
Young studios must have looked at Sonic and thought, I want to imitate that!
This game sucks balls. Like...
It has some good ideas, like... It's got...
What?
It's got a very in-depth combat system.
Yeah.
Too bad its camera angle stops it from being any good.
Container.
Its characters are unlikable. Its story is rushed.
It sucks.
And a lot of its combat elements don't work because, you know, for instance, like, claws and hammers feel useless half the time. You only have one form of magic, which is apparently fire, despite you shooting lightning.
What?
Remember? In the earlier episode, they kept saying use fire. And yet, when we use the magic, it comes out as lightning.
I just assumed it was like, oh, sure.
Oh, we could do with a health potion at this rate. Oh, and armor.
Yeah, I don't care, mate.
Heart container.
That's
yay!
Health. Cool. Speed this process up, mate. Armor, yeah,
yep.
Sure.
We got so much money.
And then, what?
Health potion would be very helpful at this rate, unless you want to go with magic.
potion contains
I'll
many
buy one of
rare
both.
and exotic
Yeah, because the bombs respawn, so...
Yeah, no one cares. Right, bye, see ya. End the episode?
Well, we might as well. You figured out where we're supposed to actually go?
No.
Terrific.
Oh. Probably for her. Which means we
Just use up one of the flash bombs. See if it can actually blow up a wall. That's
Hello.
Oh. And I'm going to have to censor that too. What is wrong with you? Grab the magic potion from down on the floor.
Wait,
Oh.
why did it use the health potion then?
It didn't.
Oh,
We collected it.
Oh, all it did
Okay,
was...
back trigger. No.
No,
back.
dude, it's used like a berserk potion. That's it.
Yeah.
No one cares about berserk potions.
I do. They're really helpful for me.
What button did I press?
You press the L
There
button.
we go.
L button is bomb.
Well, it's not my fault. It's stupid. Oh no.
Free this frog will end the episode. By gosh, this is the first time you've messed up, and I'm incredibly angry about
Good
it.
feline. I'll be out of here. Let's just say.
Good kitty. Good kitty.
Shut up before I break your arm and shove it up your butt. Bye.